Hello everybody, my name is Lonlon, and welcome to another episode of Panillae. Last episode we built this very nice looking river in my opinion, and in this episode I want to go over here to the little mine we built 2 episodes ago and show you guys the place at which I was AFKing, because turns out I AFK a lot on the server, and this is a bit lame. It's a bit of a lame spot to AFK in my opinion. So, what I want to do is to make a room behind the nether portal, which is much better, because that thing is not very good. I would also love to be able to go down here and move this map up to the AFK room, so we actually have like a respectful place to keep it in, and I actually need to update it as well. Speaking of this area down here, I managed to go in between episodes and switch out all of the torches, or almost all of the torches, to glowstone, which seemed to really fix my FPS issues, so that's good. We figured out what caused that, and we fixed it. But before we can start building the AFK and map room behind me, I got a request from Undead Witcher, another member on the server, to do a terraforming job for him. So let's go to his base and see what he wants. And this is Undead Witcher base. Let me go outside so you guys can have a better look at it. He has like a modern theme going, which I really like. But anyway, let's hop on a call with him and ask him what he wants. I see you started building.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it yet. We'll see how it turns out.
What's this gonna be?
It's just like a four-way convergence, like 4 roads meeting. I don't really know. I thought that it would just look cool. It was something that I remember Exuma doing a lot of years ago, and I always thought that it was really cool. I think it was Exuma whenever he did like a modern base, so I decided to do it.
You use the new Blackstone, I see.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so what do you need?
For it to stop floating.
Okay. Do you want it to be like a slope or a cliff, or what's the plan?
I'm not really sure. Which do you think would look better around here? So it's gonna be like a giant cube. Clearly, like that's what I'm going for. Is just like a big cube. It's supposed to be kind of like. Do you know in Chicago how they have the giant bean?
No.
I didn't think so. You know how like certain places have like big monuments that are like just there for basically looks?
Yeah.
Well, this is the cube.
The big cube of the iron.
Yeah. So I did iron because, it's an iron farm.
Yeah.
So I figured to incorporate iron in it somehow. And then it's just for looks. So it's supposed to be something that people come and it's like a tourist attraction type thing. Everybody's like, ooh, let me take my picture in front of it.
Okay. And now, after Witcher has explained what he wants, we can get into building and finishing the job. So I'm gonna do that in a quick time lapse. And so, about 1 hour and a half later, I have finished building what Witcher asked me to do for him. So he essentially just asked me to connect the square of grass he made up top to the terrain below it. So in two of the corners, which is this one and this one, I have made a bit of a cliff face, but I tried keeping it fairly simple so it doesn't really take away from the build that he's gonna finish up top. And in the other two corners, I have made a bit more of a slope to make access with the roads if he ever wants to connect a road going directly to the building. And the way I do these terraforming requests, I essentially just do the job for the buyer and I let them decide how many diamonds I deserve. So Witcher decided to pay me 11 diamond blocks and another diamond, which is exactly 100 diamonds. And that's great because I'm constantly chipping away at my diamond supply while I'm building because I'm constantly buying rockets and food. So thank you, Witcher, this is really helpful. Now, let's get back to the subject of the episode. Back in our little mine of the storage room, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the area behind the portal, which is leading to the terrain below the custom terrain we built. And I am gonna mark with a line of stone the way I want the cave that is gonna lead into the AFK and map room to go. Very similar to the way we did this little section of the cave leading into the storage room. Okay, I have marked with a line of stone the way I want the cave to go from the portal to the AFK room. And I've also set the place at which I want to place them up. And I've made it a little bit bigger than the one we have. Over there, it's a 5x5, and over here, it's a 7x7. So we're going to have a little bit more place to look at. And besides that, I wanted to go over here and do this. Because while I'm working here, the nether portal is being really annoyingly loud. So I might as well just shut it off. Now I'm gonna mark with stone the way I want the room to look and I'll be back. Now I have a better idea of what I want to do, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick update on what I've done. So I have got the general shape and the idea of the way I want the room to look, and I've realized that I need something to be down here. Because if we want to see the bottom part of the map but still be on eye level with the middle section of it, we need the ground to go down. So I think I'm gonna do the cool fog effect you can make with the stained glass. And so, now that I have a better idea of what I want to do, I think I'm gonna jump back into time-lapse. And so I've finished most of what I wanted to do, and I want to show you guys because I really like the feeling of going through the portal, which I've not lit yet, and going around this corner and then having the entire room be revealed in front of you. And I really like it, but we still have 2 more things we need to do. Maybe 3 actually. We need to get the maps over here from the last map, and we are gonna have to add like 24 more maps if my math is correct. And I also need to grind a bunch of glass to get the full fog effect out of this little ground section over here. And the third thing I just remembered is to go and get some grey wool, because I would like this place to be fairly dark. So I want to get grey wool and make some grey carpets so we can spawn proof this entire room. Before I forget, I should light this portal back up. And now, with these 3 tasks on mind, I think I'm gonna tackle the carpets first, because it's as simple as going to the shopping district and just buying some wool. But these little guys don't really want to let me get to the spawn. I made it to the spawn safely, and I think we should be fine with just 3 stacks of wool, so yeah. Thank you Loki Gothic for this amazing wool shop. And on to the second task, which is to get some glass. And I think the most simple way, maybe it's a bit pricey, but yet still simple, is to go over here to Mr. Knight's sand shop and buy a bunch of sand and then smelt it up into glass. And now, as all of the sand is smelting in these makeshift furnaces I installed, I am gonna go and make all of the maps and explore them, because I need to do it sometime. Better do it now than later. So now, carpets are in place and the map is also in place. And I also moved the line of glowstone, which was up top, back a little bit to have this section above the void, let's call it, much darker. But when I said I want the room to be fairly dark, I meant very dark. So let's go ahead and remove all of these lanterns. I've bought a few extra carpets for this, because I really want this to feel very dark. Now, as you go around the corner, you go into this dark cave, which I really like. I really am happy with the way this turned out. Now, we need to go and get all of the glass in place, which is why I even made this little room below. So we can fill it up with glass and maybe even put some lava below it to have some kind of glow coming up from the depth of the unknown. As I was doing all the things in the AFK room, I was making sure that these furnaces were always smelting glass. So now we have a pretty decent amount of glass that I'm gonna dye into grey glass with the dyes I just bought from the spawn. And I'm gonna start doing the fog effect. Okay, I'm down here now, and look how cool the room looks from down below. I didn't think it was gonna look this nice. Anyway, the way you want to do the fog effect is to place a layer of glass and then make a gap of 1 airspace between the last layer of glass and the new one. And as you stack more and more layers, you're gonna get a stronger and thicker fog effect. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this now for a little bit, and I'll be back once I'm done or am out of glass, which is probably more likely. And so I ended up both running out of glass and finishing the fog effect. When I did run out of glass, I went to the terrain below us, not above us. It's a bit weird to think about it, but everything we built so far, including the cave system, which seems as if it's really deep inside of the ground, is above the natural generated terrain. So anyway, I went out here and harvested all of the sand from the lakes and rivers around here and smelted it up. And after I smelted it up, I came over here and finished the fog effect. But there is still one more thing I want to try, because if you look really closely, you can see the shape of the room, which is down below there. So I want to go to the nether and get some black stone, because I think that if we replace the walls and the floor over there with black stone, it's gonna be a bit harder to spot the shape of the room. I just realized that I never really explained why I'm only wearing leather armor. Last world on the server, I decided not to die, and I made it pretty far without dying, but I did use like diamond armor, which back then was the best armor in the game. And this season, I decided to challenge myself even a little bit more. I decided to try not to die, but only wearing leather armor, which is gonna be much more difficult. But so far, it's been like 6 weeks, I'd say, and I'm still alive and well. So that's why I'm always scared. I think I'm gonna try and just dig down until I get to Y5, and only then will I actually start looking for Blackstone, because I wanna get away from the actual surface of the nether because it scares me. And maybe we will even find some netherite in the process, who knows? Oh, I found some Blackstone. I think I'm just gonna mine this up, and I'll be back when I have a full inventory, I guess. After a quick trip to the nether, I've gathered a full shulker box of Blackstone, and I've prepared the materials I need to build the beacon so I can switch out all of the stone fairly quickly to Blackstone, and then I can show you the result. After switching all of the stone down in the fog room to Blackstone, I think the fog effect is much more convincing now, so that's really good. And I couldn't resist but add another feature that I thought of. So I went up above, and using my limited knowledge of redstone, I built this contraption that is gonna turn off and turn on the light behind the map. So now, as you walk into the room, you can press this button and turn off the light or turn it on. But anyway, now I have a room to AFK and edit this video in, so I'm gonna do that. You can leave a like if you like the video, a dislike if you didn't like the video, and goodbye.